Flying a waste extraction vessel wasn't exactly what a cadet envisioned during their training. Cadets often dreamed of piloting sleek new ships and engaging in grand space battles, playing the heroes in epic scenarios. Naturally, those dreams were mostly reserved for the privileged few. For someone like Max, a commoner, those dreams remained mere fantasies. In more progressive regions, an automated drone would handle mundane tasks like waste management. Here in the Principality, however, individuals like Max filled that role, performing the tasks typically handled by drones. The job itself wasn't unpleasant. There was no foul odor, as Max rarely had to leave the comfort of his cockpit. His routine involved flying to a remote, barren planet designated for waste processing, depositing his load of bio-waste and returning to his space station for the next batch. For the past 2 years, Max had navigated this uneventful routine. He had come to expect monotony, but then his sensors began to emit urgent beeps. Warp signatures detected announced the antiquated voice of his ship's computer. Warp signatures. Here, the Principality was known for its isolation, and Max's station was a particularly remote outpost. The appearance of another vessel, especially one traveling at warp, was highly unusual. Max switched on the external cameras, a task he rarely needed. Computer, display visuals of the unknown vessel. Affirmative. The screen flickered to life, revealing a small but recognizable silhouette. Magnify image. As the image enlarged, Max's eyes widened with recognition. That's the Royal Shuttle. His heart sank as he saw a sudden explosion occur mere kilometers from the shuttle. The shuttle's defensive systems were activated, indicating an attack. Someone is targeting the royal family. Computer, identify the attacking vessel. Unable to comply. What? Computer, trace the source of the missiles. The old computer was sluggish, but eventually provided a result. Visual display and magnify. The image was difficult to discern, a shadow against the backdrop of the distant red dwarf star. The attacking ship, positioned far off, was faintly visible through the ancient external camera. It appeared to be a stealthy Corvette-sized vessel, shaped like a razor with barely discernible thrusters. If it was keeping pace with the Royal Shuttle, it was clearly more advanced than anything in the Principality's fleet. Max had no idea why it was targeting the shuttle. Computer, track the vessel. Understood. With communication channels blocked by the stealth ship, Max was essentially powerless. His vessel, a mere transport with oversized engines, had minimal defenses and no real weaponry, except a small point defense cannon meant for debris. Nevertheless, he had to act. This was the Royal Shuttle. He entered an intercept course, pushing his ship's engines beyond their safety limits. The ride was rough, but the vessel held together. The stealth ship emitted almost no heat, making it difficult for sensors to detect. Max relied on visual tracking, which proved to be somewhat effective. He charged the point defense cannon and was startled when the alarm blared as the cannon fired, destroying a missile dangerously close to his ship. They must have noticed me. The attacking vessel launched a few more missiles in his direction, but remained focused on the shuttle. Max was too relieved to be offended that his cannon had intercepted the missiles. Suddenly, he realized he had no clear plan. Then an alarm sounded. The cargo container was damaged and venting air. Specifically, methane. I think I have a plan now. He calculated quickly, realizing it might work. He had to get dangerously close. At the very least, he could buy time for his station to send reinforcements. With one chance to get it right, he set a new course and accelerated to maximum speed. The computer locked onto the cargo container, preparing to fire once the maglock disengaged. Max was in range, and performed evasive maneuvers to avoid incoming fire. Computer, release mag lock. He slammed the ship into reverse as the cargo container collided with the stealth ship. An explosion followed, causing the stealth ship to retreat, its hull ablaze. Max wasn't sure about the extent of the damage, but the ship clearly sustained enough to deter it. The royal shuttle hailed him immediately. A distinguished man with silver hair and cybernetic eyes appeared on his screen. This is Captain Thorne of the Royal Shuttle Sovereign. Identify yourself. Max Thompson, Warrant Officer, 3rd Fleet, Outer Rim Corps. A commoner? Well, you'll do. Of course. Who else would be piloting a transport like this? And you're welcome. The rank of Warrant Officer was the highest a commoner could achieve, and was usually reserved for pilots. At your service, Captain. How did you manage to drive off the attacker with only a PD cannon? I used my cargo to cause an explosion. What? Bio-waste combustibles. I launched the container and ignited it. That's a clever tactic. Not bad for a commoner. Captain Thorne fiddled with controls and frowned. I can't raise the space station. Our comms must be down. Try reaching them yourself. Max tried contacting his space station but got no response. A sinking feeling took hold. The stealth ship had stopped jamming transmissions, which should have meant his message could get through. Either the comms officer was ignoring him, or the station was under attack. Captain Thorne's expression darkened. Can't reach them? I feared as much. Who is your commanding officer? Lieutenant Commander Evelyn Carter. Carter? House Carter is allied with House Blackwell. They'd have sided with the enemy. Your CO must have upset someone to end up here. They probably hoped he'd overlook something for a chance to escape. What do you mean, Captain? There's been a coup, son. Duke Blackwell has taken the Council of Nobles and the Royal Palace. Prince narrowly escaped and is on a ship heading for Loyalist forces. We're tasked with reaching him. This system was meant to be a safe stop. Your Commander Carter must have revealed our location. Probably thought it'd get him out of trouble. That sounds like Carter. Max was stunned, caught in a political upheaval that could reshape the principality. Captain Thorne's next words jolted him back to the present. Warrant Officer Thompson, we need to move quickly. We're heading to rendezvous with the Prince. Your knowledge of this area is valuable. Would you join us? Max hesitated. Joining the Loyalists meant abandoning his routine life, but defending the Royal Shuttle had changed everything. There was no return to his old life now. I accept, Captain. What are your orders? Plot a course to follow us. Stay close. We'll jump to FTL once we clear the system's gravity well. As the coordinates from the Sovereign transmitted, Max set his course. His ship wasn't built for combat, but could keep up with the Royal Shuttle. The small fleet, now joined, advanced towards the system's edge. Each moment was tense. Max braced for another attack, but none came. Perhaps the explosion had sent a warning, or the attackers were regrouping. As they exited the system's gravity well and entered FTL, Max felt his life shift dramatically.